Good evening and hello, everyone. Dr. Linda H. Scruggs. I am here to welcome you to Sheroic Speaks. It is the first Thursday, and we show up as Black women speaking out loud and unapologetically. I am so excited to be with you this evening. We have an incredible show in store for you. I have some wonderful guests who are coming to talk out loud with us. Um, if this is your first time, welcome home. If you've been hanging out with us for the last few months, thank you for coming back. Thank you for returning to the conversation. We're so excited to have you. I want to prepare you for tonight in a space that many of y'all know that last month on February the 5th, we hosted a 12-hour Speak Her Thon. It was incredible. We had incredible Black women from all over this country. I won't list all the names. You have to know that it was just incredible. Tonight we want to continue the dialogue. This is not just an event tonight. We're really creating a blueprint. We want to talk about the architecture of elevating and equipping Black women for any and everything they desire. Tonight, we're going to be speaking to a few of our host guests was with us last month. We're going to be speaking to other folks. We're going to be speaking to you about what are we doing, what do we need, and how do we get to the place that not just we speak out loud, that we live out loud unapologetically. How do we make our dreams come true? I'll tell you one thing how my dream is coming through. Let me stop for a second and thank my wonderful sponsors. I want to always give elevation space to Vive Healthcare and Gilead Sciences, Porcelain Jewels, God's Juice. I want to thank all of our sponsors so far. If you're interested in sponsoring with us, please contact us at Sheroic at ribbon3.org. We would love to have you. Our other sponsors are you, all of you beautiful women who keep showing up in this space. Thank you, thank you, and thank you. As I'm going to continue talking about tonight, tonight's just not a recap. So don't say, oh, I was there last month. This is a recap. No, it's not a recap. It's not a highlight. It's not going to be a bunch of reels. Tonight is clarity. It's real simple. We're having an extended dialogue from Sheroic Speakathon itself. The event, now we want to sketch out a blueprint. How do we take those 12 hours uninterrupted where Black women spoke, not about being in the background, not about support systems, not about statistics, not about the experts, funders, educators, healers. We had strategists, we had movement leaders, we had women all from all over the space. And we even invited three men. We it was our first experience. We brought in some brothers to come in and speak to us, not to tell us, but to talk with us. And I loved it that those three brothers elevated what we already know, that we're jewels. They elevated and they admonished how Black women show up. We don't need permission to show up, but it was nice to have them with us in that space. I know often, historically, not just often, historically, Black women gather, we organize, we build, but rarely are we given structure to uninterpret or uninterrupted public space to define who we are, to define ourselves on our own terms. And that's what the Speakerthon did. That's what our continued work here at Sheroic is doing. It is creating, we are the architects of our voices, of our reality, of our tomorrows. Really excited about that. I want to talk to you and just for a moment, I want to unpeel what I mean when I'm talking about architect. To have an architect, I know you know what an architect is, right? It requires design. We're pushing ourselves into a level of critical thinking, not about our work, but about who we are. Maybe you're doing something you don't want to do. Maybe you're living a life you don't want to live. Architect says there is a design, and it requires anything you build requires scaffolding so that we can get on top of it. Scaffolding is that metal stuff you see outside of the building, outside the house, where the construction workers, they're climbing on it and they're going up the building and they're putting up a structure. And that's what we believe Sheroic Speaks is. The whole Sheroic brand, whether it's Sheroic Speaks or the magazine, we believe it's the architect structure holding up and saying, hey, what do we want to go on this floor? What do we want to go on this corner? It requires us to be builders. And to build, we have to think. And I like to say, not just think outside the box. Like, why do I have to have a box? Why do I need a box? We have to think. We have to be ready. We have to be required to look on intention. If it's my building, if it's what I'm building is me, with intention, what do I want? Some of the things that we did early on in our life may have been navigated or directed by something someone else wanted, or something someone else did, or something someone else said. But at some point, and I believe that that point has come now. At least I know for me and many of you that I've heard from, you're like, no, Linda, we redesigning, we remodeling. Oh, forget all that. Let's just tear it down. Like we're tearing it down and we are going to be the architects of what we're doing. I was talking to one of my queen sisters yesterday. No, it was earlier today, actually. And she was talking about a friend of hers. And she was talking about how she has to define what happiness is for her today. Spending a lifetime doing and providing and accomplishing for others has redecided, you know what? That's not happiness for me. Some of us have gone through that same space. Whether you're 22, 42, 62, or 82, it's never too late to come into the space for yourself. And we look to redefine. We look to be the contractors, the construction workers on our own life. We need to create space for healing. Yeah, space for healing. We need to create space for business ownership, entrepreneurship. There's so many Black women who have invested and have started. And I was saying this really actually just yesterday to someone, and often they start something and it gets knocked down. Many systems do not have the will for us to be successful. And that's why places like Sheroic Speaks is important. We want to connect you to be a connector. We want to be advocates. How do we help each other to survive, to thrive, to do and make your dreams come true? How do you put your foot to the grind? Yeah, it's hard. Business ownership, entrepreneurship is hard. But Black women ain't never been afraid of hard. So we want to create spaces for education, liberation. It's ours. It's available. And not just to get degrees, not just to be smarter than the next chick, but to be smart enough to change, to be the world changer, be a history maker. What legacy, sister, what you leaving? And I love this. I met this family years ago with the parents, the grandparents. They didn't wait and leave their inheritance. They didn't wait for the reading of the will. I love that they took their inheritance and they gave it to their children and their grandchildren so that they can see it. Part of that was a written story. What's your story? I need you to start writing. I need you to start preparing. And to do that, I need you to start speaking and living out loud, unapologetically. I need you to do that because happiness and joy come from you. That's why here at Sheroic Speaks, why we center Black women. We're looking at culture shifts. We ain't asking for permission. We're shifting policies. We're not asking for permission. We're shifting language. how you talk, how people speak about Black women. We're shifting it. And we're shifting possibilities to realities. I love that. We want to help each other. I can't help everybody. I'm saying we want to help each other. That's the focus, is to help each other do this work. It's a blueprint. It's not meant to be awed and admired. A blueprint is something that's personal, it's private, but it's intentional. That's why we did the speaker-thon. Just in case you're asking why. Why not? Why not create a space where we designed this space, and look what happened. Black women from all over the United States. We had Black women from other countries as far as South Africa. We had Black women in Europe texting and emailing and commenting. They shared space with us. There's a 5 and 6 hour time difference. When we were on and ending at 8 o'clock, we had women 6 hours ahead of us still watching because our voice is important. We had women who had spent most of the day. I had a couple women who told us they spent the whole 12 hours with us. I was there 12 hours. Most of our team was there 12 hours. That's why it's important, because we are relevant. This was just our imagination. Have you ever had y'all remember the song Just Your Imagination? I want to take a break for a second. Kim Moon's supposed to be coming with us. Kim's not with us. I know you saw her on the flyer. Kim had some family stuff that she had to do. Erica Moon, you better win that basketball game, girl. We're rooting for you. We're rooting for Erica Moon, our basketball star. Kim's with her family watching her granddaughter make history in their family. I'm going to stop there. But I want to take you back to just our imagination. This speaker-thon, the whole Sheroic Speaks, was our imagination of how we could convene Black women in a conversation. And me and Kim was talking back in August. And she said, I think we should have one of them things, one of them thongs. Well, she said, like Jerry Lewis used to do. And I said, what? And she said, let's have a speaker-thon. I'm like, what's a, ain't no a speaker-thon? And she said, yeah, let's do it. Let's create this. And we hadn't even started the hourly show yet. And in our imagination, Black women see big. We had not even started. We had not even programmed the first show. And we're months ahead of time. Because that's what Black women do. We're visionaries. And what we did was say, okay, well, we're going to launch the show. And then in Black History Month, we're going to elevate a place for Black women to speak out loud. Let's talk about it. And that's what we did. If you envision it, I believe once I say it out loud, because we tried to turn back a couple times, but once you put it out there, let's make it happen. And I love it because we had some incredible women to come with us and to make it happen. It wasn't noise. It wasn't static. It was just beautiful. It was Black women out loud talking. We started the day grounding ourselves. We talked about we're doing documentaries that our lives are important. We're not invisible. Throughout the day was a lovely moment. I'm gonna take a quick commercial. When I come back, I have two of the ladies that was with me, Toy Washington and Shauna Cooper. And we're going to talk about two segments that they did. And why is this work important? So, having a quick commercial. I see you when I come back with two of my sisters. Wow, thank you, thank you. That's a little, I love this new commercial we have to tell you a little bit more about Ribbon, the Sheroic Speaks. Ladies, don't forget to, we have a new page over on Facebook, Sheroic Speaks. Please like the page, join the page, follow us there. But now I am so excited to bring two of my sisters with me, Toy Washington and Shauna Cooper. Come on in. Hey, Toy, come on in here with me. Hey, Shauna, come on
Mm.
in. Hey, ladies.
Hey, 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 how are you?
How you doing? How both of you doing?
Hello, how's everyone? Thanks for having us.
Great,
Thanks for
great.
having
Hey,
us.
Toy, I'm gonna start with you. I know Shauna was earlier in the day, but I'm gonna start with you, Toy. You was
Mm-hmm.
late afternoon. You was a ride
Oh,
home with us,
yeah,
and Toy hosted a segment around beauty, the beauty
yeah,
within. And
yeah.
Toy, it was so funny because I got a couple of messages while the show was going on. Folks was texting me, right? And this one
Mm-hmm.
sister texted me, is like, why are you talking about beauty within? And she was like, I'm
Huh.
getting my lashes done. And
Mm.
I said, because beauty starts on the inside.
Yeah,
And that's what we
yeah,
wanted to talk about. Tell us a
yeah.
little bit, Toya, about this concept. What are you thinking?
So my particular topic session was healing shapes the beauty within.
That's
And
right.
when we were on the phone having that conversation, I found a myriad of things as we do. We just was talking, and the spirit just shows up, and we went to talking, and you say, leave it right there. Let's finish this somewhere else. I don't know where, but we're gonna finish this somewhere else. And in that moment, I something came to me, and we have been, and we talk about beauty and we talk about healing, but if we're not able to understand and accept all of who we are. Healing is a holistic journey, and healing is also a personal journey. Before we begin to allow other people's perception to be added into our personal journeys and who we are, we have to accept who we are first.
That's
And
right.
I think one of the things that prohibit that from happening, we talked about that in a session, was that thing called intimacy. Because we've
Mm,
been taught intimacy and how we have been taught that kind of backwards. It can involve someone else, but it's dangerous if you have not taken that journey with yourself. Intimacy, enter me, I see. It's the journey of
mm.
self discovery within yourself. If I'm not able to love, discover, and explore all of me, how can I now invite someone else into a place I'm not familiar, comfortable with, or love? A person that I'm connected to, a person that I want to love, I'm inviting into my space. They're not mind readers and they're not psychics. So how can I expect them to do something for me that I'm not taking a journey of doing myself? Or and because they're not mind readers and psychics, right? So if I'm not able to effectively articulate or create or mirror, because mirror is very important. We show people, we teach people how to treat us by being it to ourselves first. So
I love
mirroring
it.
modeling is extremely important. And so that session was all about healing the beauty within. And so self-discovery and intimacy was at the root of it. So learning how to love yourself, flaws and all, flaws and all. Before we get into the aesthetics, before we get into
Yes.
the aesthetics, let's take that holistic journey. Let's work on those things on the inside that makes us that makes us feel where we have allowed, not makes us, where we have allowed other people to feel, make us feel like we're not worthy. Silencing that child inside of us that has never been comforted, that's still waiting for us to tell her that we love her, still
Wow.
waiting for us to tell her that we see her. And no, she doesn't need to be glamorized to see that. And in the Black community, especially women, we are taught to believe that our worth is everything that's attached to us but us. Our Gucci bag, our Louis Vuitton shoes. No, those things that's cosplay. That's dress up. That's drag. That's drag. Who
Toy,
we are is the gift.
let me ask one thing you said. This go I want you to go back for because I know folks didn't get it. When you said
Mm-hmm.
this on the show, I was screaming. When you said the intimacy, say
Mm-hmm.
that again. Cause I'm gonna
Enter
tell
me,
you,
I
we was in studio
enter
and
me,
we
I
was
see.
screaming.
Enter me, I see. Enter me, I
Enter
see. The
me, I
journey
see.
of self discovery, the journey of loving me. And
That is
healing is
so
an
important.
ongoing journey.
I love that. I'm gonna go to Shauna because Shauna came right you and you're talking about it. I'm gonna this is gonna be a great dialogue. Because Shauna came in the morning and she was talking about the imposter syndrome.
Mm,
So you're telling us to go in, and she's talking about what we see and how we. Shauna, come on up, talk to us a little bit about your segment. I'm over here with goosebumps because I thought it was fabulous. Go ahead, Shauna.
Yeah, so thank you, Linda, again for the invite. But I just wanted to um, describe what imposter syndrome is because some people may be hearing it for the first time. And when you do hear what it is, you might recognize some of the signs and be able to identify, and therefore it will resonate more with you. But imposter syndrome, the feeling you get when you don't truly feel that you deserve your accomplishments or the opportunities that you've been given. Despite all of the training, education, all the experiences that you have, for whatever reason, you still feel that you are not capable or qualified. And sometimes that is heightened when you are in those spaces and there aren't any people that look like you. It's gender, whether it's race, regardless, or education, feelings tend to be further expounded because it's uncharted territory, one, but also because it's uncharted territory, as though, wow, how did I get here? Do I deserve to be here? So, in the context of the conversation that I facilitated for the speaker on, we looked at imposter syndrome a little differently. So instead of treating it purely as a conscience issue, we talked about how those feelings can develop from environments people navigate. And I'm talking about from childhood and how those things tend to manifest over time. And this is particularly true among who may find themselves, being the only one in certain spaces. And I've given some of those examples earlier, and who are facing higher levels of scrutiny or feeling pressure to represent more than just themselves. When you come into the room and you become the face, regardless of not you want to
Mm.
be the face or whatever that thing it is that you're representing, but that particular weight is given to you despite maybe whether or not you want to own that.
I I
I'm
love
going.
that.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
and often we find ourselves when especially that last piece. You enter the room and then there are all these people here, they only invited one of us. So then you gotta represent every black woman. And that not
Yeah,
just
yeah,
that ain't
and
fair,
mhm.
that don't make a bit of sense.
Right. And so addressing this topic among Black women is important because we accomplish so much and we accomplish, an extraordinary amount of things. Black people, Black women, we are responsible for things, not just cultural. You look around and we're everywhere. We're in education. We are the cultivators of many things, despite that we have this complex where we put this imposter syndrome on us. So historically, we carried significant responsibilities. Families work often having to navigate these systems that did not always recognize or affirm our leadership or our belongingness, rightful belongingness in those places. So being the only one in a room, filling these assumptions about competence, and this space. Do I have the adequate leadership capabilities to be in this space? And feeling all of these pressures to represent entire community, regardless of how you find that community, can shape how safe it feels to speak up, to lead, to take a space, regardless of you having every right of being there. So when we name that experience and place it in context, it helps us release some of that shame that can come with self. That also allows us to see what we're feeling is not a personal defect, but something that we should understand better and address.
I love this. I want to go back for a second because and Toy actually started when she said when we first started, I called her right. But just as a black woman, just go back for me. Like this is so funny. Like, why is this important? Why is something like Sheroic important for for you to participate in these types of conversation? Toy, why is this important for you to be having these kind of dialogues?
We know representation matters, right? But we also know that inclusion matters. And it also matters when you're seen by your peers, your contemporaries. I know when I was younger and you can hear folks saying that you're beautiful or you're special, but when a certain person says it or a certain person in community that's taking steps or doing the things that you envision yourself doing it, or doing that thing that they're doing says it. And because Sheroic Speak is speaking, it's an incubator, it's an ecosystem of women that's trailblazers and pioneers and of is multi-generational and coming together and under one ecosystem, under one nucleus that's having this message that's affirming that's liberating, that's tearing, that's dismantling systems that have been put
Mhm.
in place, that's eliminating barriers for all Black women, no matter
Right.
what, how we show up. And we're having that same message and
Mm.
story sharing. We know that's the most transformative therapy possible. So when we have this type of energy, this type of healing modality under one ecosystem,
Mhm.
that's when
I love
transformation
it.
and change happens. So that's why it's important for me. So representation and intentionality can be housed under one ecosystem.
I love it. I love it. Shauna, I know you do a lot of things in women's spaces. So I mean, like just more so much more than I know that you do, right? Why is this important? Like why was this important for you to come and be part of?
Because there are other Shaunas out there, regardless of where they are in the evolution of what it is that they want to be. So it could be that they're just starting out, they're at the midpoint, they're where I am or beyond. But there are people just like me who are feeling or who have felt what I feel and don't know why they're feeling that way. And sometimes it can hinder your progression. And that shouldn't be the case because we have so much to offer. We have been offering so much over time. And so it was important to me to be in this space and to have this opportunity to talk to other Black women so that we can share under, under that, in that space or within that in that room. So I appreciated that the conversation wasn't just within the women who were physically present in the space, but who also had the opportunity to participate virtually and who got other people involved and shared. And even though the event was shared, talked about, post the session or post the speakerthon. So I appreciate that. So the conversations just weren't limited there, that this particular platform have given it some legs to get out there and keep the conversation going. So you may not have heard about conversation or self-worth or all the other topics that were discussed there in the capacity that they were spoken of, but now and now you can have the
Right.
conversations with your girlfriends or family members. So that's how we continue to educate each other, and when we're providing each other with education that is meaningful, that is true, and that with information that we can use in our day-to-day lives. So this is information that is practical and applicable to us and for us.
Wow. I agree with both of you. With Shauna, you made me think about just now you talked about your girlfriend. Someone messaged us, and I don't know this person, so I love it that we're reaching people that we haven't reached. I don't know everybody name by name that we're reaching. Um, and her comment was, I love that Black women showed up and they weren't messy. And that was huge for me personally. Like, so like what is that message about? That this woman, she was a sister, she I can't say her name. She did give me her name and her space. And she thanked us for a day of Black women unlike the narrative. So I want to say, if we're creating this architectural design, this blueprint, what does that mean to you when a sister would say, thank you for having 12 hours of sisters not being messy?
Well, can I jump in real quick?
Yeah.
So, what I would say to that is I appreciate the, the comment being made and the person felt comfortable enough sharing, because historically, without going into too much details, but you can read between the line, a number have been done on our race. A lot of awful things have happened to our race over time, and that stuff is still ingrained in us to this day, even though we may not have had direct experience in those awful things that have happened. Post traumatically, we're still, that's those behaviors, those patterns are still being passed on from generation to generation. You turn on the TV, you turn on YouTube, you turn on the radio. People, corporate organizations invest a lot of money in having us look and display a certain way out there, and people buy into that concept, and so it manifests in us, and we tend to believe that that is how we should behave. And that's not necessarily true, and our children are watching this stuff. So I say to that comment, I appreciate it. I am so excited for opportunities like that, because these are the platforms that really need the volume versus the one that depicts us in the negative light. So I just wanted to make that comment. Thank you.
All right. Toy, you
And
had something? What's
yeah,
your thoughts
I
on that?
do. I do. For me, I think it's very important, especially in this social political climate, that we're having conversations around Black women that's not particularly a divisive one around cis women and trans women, where you created a space where cis women and trans women were present. And we were talking about collective healing, not about
Yes.
anatomy, not about biology, but just existing as women. And how can we heal as a collective? How can we build as a collective? We
Yeah.
know what the issues are, but this was solution space
Yeah.
as a
I
collective building. And when we talk about architectural design, we are communal
yes.
people. That's where we come from. So in order for this thing to work and to be effective and to be built on a solid ground, this is what it has to be: collective building. The blueprint has to be strong. And it's not going to be strong if it's not done and by the collective. And we are the collective, and we're talking about healing modalities for us as Black women. So yeah, that's why
I,
it's important for me.
I love that. I love that. I'll tell you, my response to the sister was that thank you. I told her thank you. That was by intent. But I also told her that some some messy ain't always bad. It depends on what the platform focus is. And we wasn't here to judge that, right? We was creating just what both of you said, a place both that where we see each other differently and we see each other well in a collective space. So I did tell her, I said, a little messy ain't always bad if that's what your intent is and understanding. But I also shared with her, now at 60 and when I was 20, I probably wouldn't be having that same comment. I was messy at 20, y'all. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Let me do this. I know our conversation gonna keep going. We're gonna do one more quick commercial. I'm gonna and when before I go to commercial, Toy, forgive me. Toy Washington Reynolds. I keep leaving off the Reynolds because when I met you it was Toy Washington. So please forgive me, sister. But when we come back, we're coming back with another sister who wasn't on the show. She was behind the scenes. She was a viewer, but Dr. Dottie Dow Wow spends a lot of space with Black women. So we invited her to come and join us in some of this dialogue. When we come back, Dottie will join us and we're going to have a bigger dialogue about should we do this again? Folks have asked us to come like to their cities and do this. So what does that mean for the narrative of Black women? That folks are reaching out and they're looking to seeing something different. So we'll have another quick commercial. Thank you, ladies. Don't go away. Y'all gonna be here with me, and Dottie gonna join us when we come back. All right, that was quick. That was quick. Everybody, thank y'all for staying with us. Y'all that are hanging out with us. We're having an exciting conversation. We're creating a blueprint for Black women. Just not speaking out loud. We're doing some architectural work here. We're talking from bottom up, top up, side to side. We're having the opportunity to build out loud. Whether you are 22, 42, 62, or 82. Matter of fact, I'll give you a quick note. My mom is 89, and she told me last Thursday, I think it was, that she didn't like something that had happened, and she said, "I'm never going to do that again." So at 89, she's still redefining what it means for her to show up. What does that look like? And she said, "I don't like that. I ain't gonna do that no more." It's her space. It's her blueprint. So joined us in the room is none other than my other everybody, my sister, y'all. I love it. Dottie, Dr. Dottie Dawa. I call it Dr. Dottie. It's the triple D's, Dr. Dottie Dawa. Come on up, Dottie. I love you.
Yes.
I'm so happy you're here.
I love
We
you.
said to folks, you wasn't on the show, but because you spend a lot of space in Black women, I know your work, your education space around Black women. But I want to ask you a question though, in reference to the show, before we just start talking about Black women. Like, what did it mean? What did you think? Do you remember what you thought when you heard Linda, Dr. Scruggs is getting ready to do a 12 hours of Black women talking? What was your early thoughts when you heard that?
My early thoughts, first of all, good evening. I'm glad to be able to share the space with you all. Thank you so much for inviting me. And my first reaction was like, that's a long time. 12 hours is a long time, but it was necessary, right? I believe it was necessary because I had an opportunity to be in and out of that space. And what I can say for just my experience, it was both emotional and affirming. And Shauna, I heard you when you talked about imposter syndrome. I remember hearing your segment, and just it resonated with me on so many levels because oftentimes as Black women, we live at the intersection of our gender, our race, our marital status, our parental status, our socioeconomic status. There's so many places where our identities intersect. And oftentimes, as we begin to grow and elevate, there is that tension that we sometimes wrestle with, whether we move out the neighborhood or become more educated or see life a bit different. What I appreciate about your segment is that it allowed us to feel and to really lean into what you were saying about the imposter syndrome, because the imposter syndrome can work both ways. Sometimes we come from communities that's resource denied, and we begin to move into communities that are more resource. And oftentimes, when we go back to those communities, we're seen as being different. You think you better than, oh, you're talking like, and you fill in the blank. So I think for me, it is necessary hearing the women's voices. It reminded me just how deep the well of wisdom, leadership, and lived expertise within our communities. it resonated with me. You also had a panel. I know you didn't ask me to go here, but there was one talking about communication and intimacy. And I remember getting my notebook, like, hold on a second, wait, let me write this down about how we communicate. And sometimes we communicate from that trauma space. And we wonder why some of our relationships are not as healthy as we would like, because we're practicing from models that weren't healthy. So I'm going to pause there, but I think it's necessary. It is so necessary to have this space to be able to hear that you're not by yourself in this, and that we walked away with
I
strategy.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it, Dottie. You're absolutely right. That conversation was with Dr. Gail Wyatt. That was off the chain. I can't wait to have her sitting with me one on one to be talking about intimacy. Toy, you talked about it as well. And intimacy, not just always in a penetration space, right? Intimacy has so many different spaces. I'm not going to go there. That's another show. Let me ask y'all a couple questions, all right? Um, this is juicy. This is some jewels. Why is centering? Tell me, I want y'all to think about it. Like, why is centering Black women in this new way? Why is it
Mhm.
new? Why are folks talking about y'all doing something different? Where has it been? Why is it new?
Because it's been absent. That's just my only response to it. It's
It's
been
been
absent. That's
absent.
why it's new. Or if it has been present, it hasn't been present on a consistent basis. You get a little piece here and a little piece there, but as far as ongoing space or platform for Black women to for their voices to be amplified, outside of a magazine. Sheroic is doing this in many platforms. You got the digital space, you got the podcast, you got the social media platforms. So you hit in various spaces for women to get the information. So you're not honing in on one particular platform. You're reaching women where they are, how they can receive the information.
Yeah.
I love it. Toy, toy.
From
Like why is this new? Or why is it important? Why is like right now important for us to start saying, you know what, sisters, we see you.
yeah. I think it's important that we affirm one another. I believe that affirmation can heal the nation. And
Wow.
we're no longer waiting for a savior. I see it in my sister, and I think the most important thing is being able to affirm one another, loving our sisters to the next level, being able to see, I see you. The elders done it for us, so being able to do that for our sisters, love our sisters to the next level, affirm them, speak to that thing in them that so they can one day believe it and see it, so they can be that leaders. Speak things as though they are before they even happen. Manifestation. That's what we're doing. We're not waiting for someone to come and save us. We're going to speak to the leaders that's inside of each one of us. That's why it's important to center us in this moment.
Dr. Dottie, quick question in that same frame. And
Mhm.
Toy said it. I always say this, they ain't coming for us. We've been here. So if they're not coming for us, um, some folks don't even know we're here. They don't even know that they're not here. How might we engage those other women who don't even know that there is somewhere and we're building this new space?
I think in platforms that we're engaging in now, right? When we talk about Black women being centered, it's not just about representation. It starts with representation. It's not just us being symbolized, like here we are, but really being able to have. I think. Let me just say this: when you invite Black women into a space, the conversations become more honest. They become more solution focused, and we're able to connect more to the realities that we know that we deal with every day. Oftentimes, it could be in the and Toy, you probably
Uh,
know what that means, right? All right, sis, what's going on? Where somebody else from a different culture may not understand like those nonverbals and begin to inquire a bit more. So I just believe it is necessary. It is just necessary for us to be in spaces where we can be empowered, and then we can begin to continue the work, or we can continue the work in disrupting those patterns that we live through, those patterns of that we experience often, right? The patterns of just being marginalized, those patterns of disparity. Like we have to be able to have honest conversations and be able to see ourselves in one another. And let me say this too.
Wow.
Is it Toy? Toy, am I saying your name?
It's Toy. Yeah,
Toy.
Toy.
Yeah, yeah,
First of
yeah.
all, let's talk a little bit about how you I've heard the phrase that you use about intimacy, right? Like, but I love the twist because I've heard it growing up. Into me, you see, but you flipped it and said, into me, I see. So it's not even about other people seeing me. I need to be able to see me. So you just kind of wrecked my whole thought about that word. I was used to into me, you see, but I love that.
Dottie, we were screaming in the studio. When
Yes,
she said that in
yes.
the studio, we were screaming. If we could have rewind, that would have been one of those things we would have looped because you're right. We heard that in a different form. And now suddenly she's like, no, you look in there.
You
Y'all
look
know
in
y'all
there.
have been in a workshop. They're like, look in the mirror tomorrow. Go, no, go down there and look in the mirror. Y'all seen, women, y'all know somebody told you to get a mirror and go look at it. And she flipped to say, you got to see
You.
you,
Yeah.
not what
And
they see. I
I
love
love what
that
you said
space.
culturally. That cultural piece that you just mentioned, Dr. Dottie, is so important. It's cultural. We can get it. The body language. We can have a whole conversation. We can bond over a movie, and we can be walking and take an excerpt from that movie and create a whole narrative and communicate with each other just off of that way, that modality, and create a whole way of us being able to communicate. That's just cultural. And so that thing that you said earlier about us being able to do it and be centered, not just because of those other things, but culturally, because that's who we are, that's what we do. And that's so important. That is
Mhm.
extremely important. Only
And
we're able to do it because we understand each other.
mhm.
No one else will be able to do it.
Indeed. Indeed.
It, wow, you're right. Because sometimes when I say they didn't come for us, I don't think they knew what they were coming for. I don't think they would have known how to come for us. So I love that this is the time. That's why they didn't come, y'all. Because we are so uniquely and individually made, right? Like the tapestry that it takes to be each one of us. Like, who do they come for? How do they make those decisions? And I think that's one of the beauties that we think the Sheroic brand does. We want you to show up, and outer beauty is cute. Yeah, when I take these eyelashes off, what movie was that, Spike Lee, when the girl took the hair off, the eye, was it y'all
I'm
remember
gonna
that?
get you, sucker.
I'm going to get you,
Come and get
sucker.
you, sucker. Some of us are living some come and get you, sucker, real out loud lives. Right? Some of us is. I'm just saying, right? These lashes, these eyebrows, all of it. But underneath that is that me seeing me.
Mm.
And that's where we want we want you, black woman. See,
Yeah.
I'm
But
challenged, and I know our time is going to run out.
yeah,
One of the things I'm challenged
yeah.
with is how do we, and Toy said this, how do we leave a legacy? What's we're leaving for the next generation of black women? What are we doing now? I believe the narrative of Sheroic, I hope that people are going back and talking to older women as well as younger women, that there are places where you can make decisions. We're going to talk about education in a couple of shows, from high school to trade school, because everybody ain't going to college. My first schooling after high school wasn't college. It was a trade school. Nobody's talking about those other. How do we help
Mhm.
navigate young women, old women? COVID created this whole entrepreneurship space. It ain't easy being an entrepreneur, y'all. How do we collectively get women connected together, that we're touching and we're holding on them? I'm gonna bring Shauna back in another segment. Um, she's doing some great work on nonprofits, entrepreneurship. Shauna is a beast in that area. We're gonna talk about that because often you just need a finger. You don't even need a hand up. You need a finger reaching out. It's not a hand up. It's not a hand out. It's someone just want, I'm going to just give you a finger. Someone to hold on to, someone to run it through. Last question. Think about this. Now I'm getting ready to give y'all a bomb. I'm getting ready to give y'all the bomb. Right? I want us to leave on a top note. I want you to leave on a top note. Like, what's your favorite Diana Ross song? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm
Oh,
just kidding. Y'all was ready, won't you?
I
Y'all
was.
was ready. Like, what's your favorite Diana Ross? Y'all got a favorite Diana Ross song?
I do.
Okay, tell me what it is.
I'm coming out.
Ah, why is that
Who's
your
the
favorite,
boss?
Dottie?
So it's for many, it means different things for different periods of my life, right? So like I'm coming out. I remember hearing that. I remember when she was in Central Park. We had the VHS videotape of her being in Central Park singing live with her fingernails broken. It was raining, and I just remember her, singing her song. And then because of the communities that I have been a part of, it meant one another thing, right? And then when I was finishing my dissertation, that was the theme song. Okay, I am coming out. I want the world to know. So it meant different things for different seasons
I
of my life.
love it. I
Yes.
love it. Toy, do you have a Diana Ross song?
I have several. So between it's my house and I live here, and yeah, it's my house. I live here. It's my house. I live here.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
Shauna, do you
Yeah.
have one?
I was already taken. I'm coming out. So I
I
That's
co-sign.
love
my
it.
house. Yeah. That's the read though that she read for Bleed, and it's my house. I live here. For any woman or anybody that's coming after you in the space, she read for Bleed. There's a welcome mat
Uh-huh.
at the door. It's my chair. I put it there. So if you're coming into this space, it's me all over. Get out of here, sweetie. There's nothing you can do once I come in here and I'm in here. I'm all in the tapestry in here, the carpet, the fibers of it. She had read. And I love every moment of it.
I love it. I love it. She is a queen. She is a beast.
Yes.
Ladies, y'all are queens. Y'all are beasts. That's why I brought Diana Ross into the room. Y'all are queens. Y'all are beasts. Sheroic is going places. I'm coming to all of y'all cities soon.
Yeah.
Soon. We're speaking it. They're asking us. We want to create dialogues out loud. We hope that y'all, some of the other hosts we're already talking to, how do we continue this conversation? How do we? I believe this is an opportunity that many Black women have been looking for. Somewhere safe, somewhere to be unapologetic, somewhere not to be afraid to be fabulous. That ain't being cocky. That's just me showing up. That's my hustle. That's my work. That's my dream is to show up unapologetic and not to worry about nobody else. Y'all, I know, ladies, we out there, we got a raffle. Y'all drop y'all names in the chat. Chris is back there. Drop your name in the chat for the raffle. Ladies, I'm going to thank you again. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being with me. I hope that you remember that you are a beast. You're a queen. And if anybody, I'm going to probably tag y'all tonight. Anybody question you, tell them to call me. I don't care. 202-299-7832. Right? Because that's right. I ain't apologizing. Black women, we showing up for real. We're showing up out loud. We're showing up with intent. We're showing up together. Sister, I ain't got your back. I'm just in the seat with you. I love y'all. Take care, sisters. Ladies, we are coming to the end of the show. Wow, wow. I know we got out there, we got some raffles going on. This has been fabulous. I want to thank our sponsors again for being with us and helping us. Again, Gilead Sciences, Vive Healthcare, Porcelain Jewels. I don't have my porcelain jewels on tonight. I'm a put on. I had some beautiful ones on Sunday. I'll drop it a picture from Sunday. And our God's Juice sponsor who's been with us. Um, I believe I saw the winner of a raffle. I think she's already won. I think we have to respin the raffle. She's already won, if I'm not mistaken. They only can win every 3 months. I need somebody else. I'm looking at the list. She's already won. So give me another spin. Give me another spin. I know y'all, your name came up. I ain't gonna tell you your name because I got the list of the names who've already won intentionally. Is Latoya Munchison? Is that what it is? Latoya? Please, please put her name up on the screen. Please do me a favor. Email us at Sheroic at ribbon3.org. Yay, Latoya. Thank you. Thank you. We're so happy for you. I should have bought it, y'all. We got some new swag. Latoya's going to get our first new swag bag with some goodies in it. Please, please email us. Again, ladies, everybody, I am Dr. Linda H. Scruggs. It is my super pleasure to have had these great guests, to have you with us. Don't forget to go to Sheroic Speaks on Facebook. It's a brand new page. We're building it out. There are information, all types of things are going to be happening there. We're on Instagram. We are building out. We have some private shows on Sheroic Speaks on Facebook that ain't for everybody. Because sometimes they just spectating too much. So please go there. Tell your friends about it. Tell Nanny. Tell TT and CC. Tell everybody. First Thursdays every month on the first Thursday is 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, and 4:30 Pacific. Join me, Dr. Linda H. Scruggs, here for Sheroic Speaks, the podcast. If you have show ideas, you got something you need to say, something you want to see, somebody you want to hear from, please send us an email. We are here to hear you. We're here to listen. We're here to show up. This isn't me. I am Sheroic, but you're Sheroic too. Do me a favor, ladies. You know I like to say it. Drop it in the chat. I am Sheroic. I am Sheroic. I am. You are Sheroic. Ladies, we'll see you next month. You know me. I'll see you before the month's over. I be missing y'all. I'll see y'all probably in a couple of weeks with a heroic moment. Um, Peace be with you. Ladies, y'all are the beasts. Y'all are the queens. I'm going to tell y'all tonight. And I told you to tell them. If they said that ain't true, tell them the H Scruggs says so. See you. Good night, everybody. Have a wonderful day.